Hello, everybody. Hi. Happy Monday. It is Susie Libertor, owner and art director of Visions to Images, and I'm coming at you guys to talk to you guys about websites today. I'm going to be real honest for 1 second because I'm an honest person and I believe in honesty and being transparent. I don't invest in any business if they do not have a website. That's the truth. And I don't know, maybe it's just the nature of my age and whatever, because I grew up in the digital age and all that fun stuff. But I just don't take them seriously. Now, if you have a website, that's completely different. But if you don't have a website, well, I'm not going to take you seriously. Now, if you have a website and it's not working and it's kind of that's a whole nother story that we're going to talk about right now. So when you go to somebody's website, what gets you excited? Right? So let's think. This is what I talk to people about. What do you get excited for when you go to a website? Do you get excited because they have great imagery, they have great content, all that fun stuff, right? Like you can relate to them. If you don't know who they are and you're finding them on Google right away and you see something and you're like, oh, I love them already and I want to invest. How many times has that happened to you? I love that. Like, I love that personally when I'm able to find somebody on Google. Thank God for Google, right? I don't know how we ever survived without Google. But when I find somebody on Google and I see an amazing website or amazing social media, content, graphics, whatever, all of that, I'm like, yeah, you can take my money because you invested in yourself and you're professional and you're strategic and all that fun stuff, right? It's just about being professional. So 5 things that your website needs, regardless of where you are at with your business. These 5 things will literally, I can't make promises, but it'll help bring in those sales and bring in those people, period, right? So good content. Now, what is good content? Content is when somebody can relate to you, whether you use humor, whether you use storytelling, whether you use authenticity, whatever you use, there's got to be strategic content and it's got to be placed on your website strategically as well. So you can't just have everything all on one page. Like, you got to keep them going and be excited for it, right? Because when they see it and they read it and they're like, oh, I want to keep reading, then where do I go? Having those click-through rates and having those open rates just because you have good content. I often find good content on websites, period. I love content. I love to read, love to write in my spare time. So I love just being able to have that content. Along with content is call to actions, right? So you have to have great call to actions, period. If you do not have a call to action on your website, you're losing customers. You have to have one call to action, period, like one call to action. What do you want the person to do at the end of the day? Do you want them to call you? Do you want them to email you? Do you want them to buy now? What do you want? Do you want them to sign up for your email newsletter? What do you want? Because then once you find out what you want, then you can do a sales funnel and create them into the next step. So if you have them sign up for your email campaign, but they haven't purchased and you give them a coupon code, now they can go right on in and buy what they wanted to buy with that coupon code, right? So there's different stages and strategic thoughts that happen throughout this. I typically say just have one call to action and keep repeating it throughout your website, especially if you're on blog posts. At the end of every blog post, I always have my call to action very clear. There, boom, done. Like, you need to make sure it always goes back to the call to action. You can have different call to actions for different campaigns, but for your website specifically, I would make sure that there's just one call to action, whether it's getting them on the phone, getting them on an email newsletter, what have you. The third thing that every website needs right now is good eye-catching graphics. So that's my favorite part. I love creating custom eye-catching graphics, period. Love it, love it, love it. Each person is going to be different. You need to make sure that you are always updating the sliders and having a little bit of fun. And this goes along with the content, right? So you have to make sure you have the content and the graphics go hand in hand. It'll help. So with the eye-catching graphics, you want to make sure that you have like eye-catching graphics for breakup areas. You don't want to just have one image and then all this text and no other images. So you want to make sure you break them up strategically and have different eye-catching graphics on each page. A lot of times when people like e-commerce boutiques and stuff like that, you want to make sure that you have a header on there that is it relates to your page, but you have other fun stuff throughout it. And always, like, if you have e-commerce, always have, like, on the sidebar, like, link to my blog, sign up for this. Always have those call to actions throughout your website. So it kind of all flows together, if you see what I mean. 4, easy navigation. You need period. It does not matter where you are, what you're doing. It doesn't matter. The eye-catching graphics are great and handy, but you need easy navigation, period. Hands down, period. Does not matter. If somebody's on your website and they cannot navigate it, they're gone. Does not matter if you have pretty graphics. They're gone. That's, I'm being honest. Like, they're gone. Especially when it's either on an iPad or mobile device, which I'll get into on number 5 in a second. But when you have easy navigation, it has to be on all platforms. It has to be on the computer. It has to be on the iPad, the iPhone, whatever. It has to be strategic in all of those places. And a lot of times when you do templates and stuff like that, you're able to have that set up. So it's not like on you or your developer necessarily, but you have to still go in and manage different settings and manage all that fun stuff. Like if you want this to show, if you want that to show, because if you go on your phone and there's just like so much going on and it's like you can't even click on it, you're definitely going to be gone from your phone. I mean, have you ever had that happen to you? I know you guys can all relate in a sense, and I'm just not talking out of experience. I know you guys have these experiences too, and you have storytelling to tell. Like, I know you've all experienced this at one point or another, especially before the digital age was digital. Like, I mean, before everybody had mobile-friendly websites and stuff like that. Like, I'm sure you've all experienced that. I know I still experience websites to this day, and I'm like, no. Number 5. Let's talk about number 5, and it's the mobile-friendly website. So beyond the easy navigation for mobile friendly, it's making sure that people can email or call directly from their phone if they're on your website. That's the easiest thing to do, and I cannot stress it enough. The other thing for mobile friendly is making sure that your logo and everything is not overpowering, in a sense that your logo on your mobile is like this small rather than being this big on the computer. So being able to have those settings and that strategic information is so critical and important, period. Like, these things are just so critical for every website, but the easy navigation and the mobile friendly are like the 2 biggest things right now, and then the good content. The call to action and eye catching are like secondary. So if I had to choose the 3 things that you need to go do right now, I would say the easy navigation, mobile friendly, and good content, period. And a lot of times, I mean, the call to action and the eye-catching graphics, they will come secondary as long as you have the 3 mainstreams that you need. So I hope that you guys have these things in your website. And I also put up a link as well for you guys to view a little bit more about why you need a website and what a website really entails, because there's so much need for a website. Like, it just gives the customer relation. It gives the brand awareness. It gives so much professionalism and cohesiveness for your brand and onward. So check out the blog and let me know what you guys think. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them below. I am going to head out right now, but I will be back on next Monday around the same time, and I hope this was helpful and beneficial for you guys, and I hope that your websites are on point and on track. If you have any questions, want to do an audit, just want to have a consultation, feel free to just shoot me a message. I would absolutely love to chat with you and see where we can go with that. Have a great Monday. Hope everybody has a great week.